Hi, everyone. I hope you're all having an amazing day. It is a little brisk and chilly here, but at any rate, I hope everybody's doing really well and excited to dive right in. Let's see. I have, today is the last day of the replay of He's Gonna Love You. So you guys can get all access up until midnight Pacific time tonight. And if not, I highly recommend purchasing the event because one, the information is so valuable and you can access it at any time given the fact that you have it. So that would be really great. Plus, it helps a great cause, and that makes me really happy too. And it helps you as well. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. And I just wanted to, check in with everyone. I am doing, tomorrow I am doing a topic per day, every day for 7 days in this group. And just addressing some things that I see come up when it comes to dating, relationships, misunderstandings, things like that. And if you guys want to post below, if there's any burning topic that you want to hear about, I am happy to address that, talk about it, and, really dive into it. So I will be on, like I said, daily. It'll probably be around this time, the 3:30 to 4 p.m. Pacific time hour, unless I have to switch it around a little bit. But at any rate, I am here. Hi, Susan. And so, one of the things that I would tell you, something that, came up for me today, and something to really look at and recognize is to sit down. One of the talks I had with Sandy Weiner, her and I talked about really important values, and we talked about why it's important. And when you go over that as to why certain things are important to you, why they're values, and you can dive into that within yourself and feel it in your body, you can look at, your relationships, you can look at your past relationships and think, was there a gap here? Was there a gap as far as the, being able to get my needs met, right? But was there a gap around the values and what were we aligned? And also, relationships, they're a bit of a dance, right? And I think the over and under of what I see a lot of confusion in these days, especially in the 21st century, is the masculine and the feminine. And I was actually coaching, I was emailing with a client earlier, and she's dating, she's having a really good time for one of the first times in her life in this area, and she's meeting really high quality men, and like I said, she's having a great time. Hey, Sarah. And one of the things that she said is that, this one gentleman had, one of the things I coach on is dating multiple people until you're committed, and not to get committed too soon, because my point of view on that, and this is, I would say by and large for the most part, is because it takes a while to get to know people. And it's a good exercise in setting boundaries. So one of the things that, she emailed me about was she was her and this guy were planning a third or fourth outing or date together. And he was trying to get together with her, and she just had been really busy work-wise, and the times just had not aligned for them. So she said, well, would it be okay if I asked him, since I don't have a meeting, my meeting on Friday, if he'd like to go to a movie on Thursday night, because I know he's going out of town that weekend. And the thing, oh, hey, Fiona, the thing that I would tell you is that no, not to do that. And here's why. And I think a lot of people don't quit. This is a tougher thing to get. And part of the reason why is because she's leading if she's asking him to a movie. Because you're leading as far as making the plans. And the goal is to really stay in your feminine. So being in your feminine is not making plans. And being in your feminine is the receiver. So one of the most masculine jobs in the world is being a parent, being a mother. Usually, typically more of the responsibility falls on the mother, right? Not always, but a lot of times it does. So understanding the difference, masculine is doing, feminine is receiving. And especially when you're early on in dating, you want to make sure that you're giving him the space to be masculine. And our society and our world in general has that really, really confused these days. So it's a heck of a lot more challenging when it comes to establishing exactly what that looks like, what it even means. And, because, women are encouraged to just go for it. And then what it does on a deeper level is it messes up what our what humans are designed to do, men and women. Men are hunters by nature. So they may not know it or feel it in the moment, but if a woman is continually making plans, it's okay that she did it that one time. And I gave her a reason why that was, I gave her the reason that I gave you guys, that why it's important for him to make those plans. And she was really appreciative because she was like, oh, that it's just, it's those little things that don't occur to me to be in my feminine, because most of the women that I talk to, they have careers, they're busy, they're moms, they're daughters, they've got, a lot going on. And so the other side to that, you guys, is just learning how to even let him lead. So, and a lot of times men will come and say, well, where would you like to eat tonight? And as women, we look at that as an open door instead of looking at it as an opportunity to let him lead. So you can say, well, gosh, you come up with some pretty great places. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? And then he might say, well, what about that Mexican place? If you're not feeling Mexican, you can be like, no, I'm not really feeling that. I like that place though. What else you got? And then he'll keep going until something you're like, oh yeah, ding, 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 great idea. And I look forward to going. Let's go. So those are a couple of things, but really allowing yourself to be in the feminine. And if anyone has any questions around this stuff, feel free to let me know. I can tell you that this kind of thing can be a bit confusing, and, in relationships, in a real relationship, it's a bit of a dance, right? But he's leading, and he's in his masculine, and you're in your feminine. You're the receiver. And, we can easily get triggered by things that have happened in the past, or feeling like we need to work to have the relationship we want. And yes, you need to put effort into it, but the deeper thing is that, you've got to look at, are you at a place in your relationship where, or even dating life, where it's where you want it to be? Are there patterns? And if so, looking at, some deeper things as far as, continuing your education, right? And committing to that piece, as well as really looking at, well, do I need to be in a committed relationship right now? Sorry, I got a bug that flew up in my face. And yeah, it's a good statement. But, when it's, I think a lot of times as women get scared, and we'll get triggered, and we'll think, oh my gosh, the guy's going to go away because I set a boundary, and I said, at this point in time, I don't really see where being in a committed relationship is I'm not there yet. This is a really important area of my life, and I want to bring in my partner, and I haven't, it takes time to get to know someone. Or if you're in a relationship that is unavailable, and really unavailable, and they're, communicating about, gosh, I'm at a place in my life where I would love to be, have that partnership and bring that in. And I would just say that I'm, at this point in time, I don't see where we're at a place to be exclusive, as, I'm looking for one thing, and I see that maybe there's a little much going on in your life to commit to that, and that's okay. I totally get it. I'm just looking for something that's more real. Yeah, if you're setting boundaries and you're not sticking to them, that's a problem, because they will not take you seriously. They'll, it's like a child, right? If you let your 2-year-old or 3-year-old or however old child have the cookie when you've said no to them 10 times, they will continue to push your boundaries. And they'll push them even harder, because they know that their reaction gave them the cookie. So it's the same way when it comes to people. We teach people how to treat us. And I'm not just talking about men. We do it in all of our relationships. And if the relationships aren't showing up the way that you want them to, then it's time to expand. There's plenty of people out there that really do have a desire to have great relationships, great friendships. And it's about really having that clarity and, you know, on a deeper level, understanding men, relationships, what all this stuff looks like, and, you know, why we behave in certain ways when we've actually bonded with a man, and why it can be really challenging to be able to see things clearly, because because when all the oxytocin's flowing, you know, we really want it to work. We want things to be great. And it's harder to see those red flags. And if a man is really wanting to show up for you and you give him the space to do so, they do. One of my clients, I was talking to her earlier today, and she's engaged, and she met an amazing man within the first month of us working together, and I gave her coaching on really what to do and how to take things slow. And her tendency is to overgive. And she started to get into a place where she was starting to overgive to you know, up-level her value and becoming needy in the relationship, and not looking at everything for where it's at and what it is. And she, you know, just transparently was, you know, feeling a little concerned, and like he was pulling away. And I said, you know, in relationships, there's a cycle of that, and men need some time to pull away a bit. But if you don't chase them, they come really quick right back. It's a cycle. And so, and they're a little bit of distance, so they're, you know, figuring all that out. And, you know, I just gave her some work around, what is it that you want? What are you willing to deal with? What are you not willing to deal with? And at first, she had, you know, when I talked to her, and she had a catastrophe happen. It was horrible, but that's a sidebar. But she would have loved for him to want to be there. And I don't think it was that he didn't. It was that he didn't know how to communicate in the way that she needed to hear it. So I gave her some feedback on how she could help him in the future to speak to her, so that she felt that value and cherished and adored. And, you know, originally he was planning on, you know, seeing her in a couple weeks, and now he's going to be there on Friday. And that's all because she gave him the space to come to that on his own. So there's a lot of power in those things. So post your comments, questions below, and I'm happy to answer, reply, give you a thumbs up, give me some hearts, whatever. And I will be here, like I said, for the next 7 days, and I'm going to do these little mini Facebook Live trainings and give you some action steps on within which to do and creating the most abundance that you desire in this area of your life, and frankly, you deserve. So, sending you so much love. Have an amazing rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye, everyone.